Hello and welcome to the HCISD Sports Preseason Show. I'm Aaron Sines, and with us in the studio is Coach Manny Gomez, athletic coordinator and head football coach at Harlingen High School. The Cardinals in the house today, Coach. Great to have you. Thank you so much for taking from your busy time to be here with us, and for the fans, right? But hopefully also for the kids. You get to share kind of what's going on and help them get out there. So we believe you're starting the 12th year as Cardinal head football coach. And what did you just say? You said it was like how many years?
It feels like it was 2 years. You know, it's been my second year. But, yeah, I believe it's our 12th season coming as a head coach.
Awesome. What are you looking forward to this year?
Great things, absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about the team this year and the makeup and the character. And
gritty, very gritty. You know, after last year's losses, I guess, like I said, we lost the last 4 games, and it's something I don't think that's ever happened in Harlingen. So it was just something that it didn't need to be discussed. That following Monday, we went to work. The kids, you know, they were ready to go, and it said a lot. You know, actions say a lot to me. That's the one thing about what we emphasize at HHS. You know, it's not about talking, it's about doing. So it was a great sign of greatness, because to me, that's the whole thing about it. You got to have some signs of greatness, and that was definitely one that I'll remember. And I told the kids, actually, I was having that conversation with them the other day. I said, remember that conversation that we had that Monday? I go, I'm going to remind you guys, when you guys make those big plays coming off, and after that first win that we have, I'm going to remind you guys, because I'm telling you, a lot of fans, maybe even some players believe that Friday night lights, Friday night, that's where football or the big plays are going to be made. No, the big plays are being made yesterday and today, you know, through your hard work. So definitely something that we're going to look forward to.
Well, Coach, you know, one thing I know about you and the Cardinals is defense is always a strong point for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had that defensive mindedness, and your defenses are always gritty. I think those are excellent words, right? And like I shared, I feel your intensity, and I know that transfers, you know, to your players. And I feel like when your linebacking core is out there, they're an extension of you on that field, right? And so you talk to me about your defense makeup this year. You have some starters coming back this year. Are you rebuilding? What's the?
It's a little bit of both, but you know, it's like one thing I never really put the emphasis on. Well, I got this guy coming back. To me, I always feel that if you're able to survive our off season, you're ready for Cardinal football. You know, whether you have any experience or 10 games experience, you're able to do our thing and survive the mental stress that we put on you. Hey, and playing the game is fun, you know, and it should be fun. But, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, we got a couple of guys that are battle-tested coming back on the D-line. You know, Tristan Garcia is a kid who's a good-sized kid and got a motor on him. He's got tremendous will. You got Cameron Anderson, another kid who is very stoic. You know, you really don't know what's going through his mind, but you put him on the field. He's a madman. You know, he hand-cleaned 315 and made it look easy and stuff. I made you stop there, because to me it's like I don't want you to get hurt. But anyway, there's other kids. Marco San Miguel, linebacker. He's not very big, but he plays big, and that's what you look for. You know, because there's some kids who are big, but they play slow and they play small, and then you got these kids who are small and they play big. Well, that's what Cardinal football is all about. You know, what did it say? The saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. So that's what we look for, you know, and that's what we produce. But you know, only time will tell, but we're going to take it a day at a time.
Awesome. And I know in offense last year there was a lot of transition. Quarterback, right? Just injuries. You know, I spoke with one of your assistant trainers and said just in 1 year the amount of injuries that y'all went through last year, and still you fought and you still felt that grit from the team, you know. And so this year, how's that offense looking? Are y'all going to stick with kind of that? You know, your running game has been solid for the past handful of years. Always have a good running back. You know, have Leo Tienda, right? And so are you looking at transition this year in any way? You may be running with a couple quarterbacks, different things like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we have good problems right now in offense.
Good.
I say good problems because we got a good 8 offensive linemen.
Yes.
And to me, I'm a defensive-minded guy, but my offensive line is going to be physical, you know, and that's one thing about our offensive line this year. We got 8 good ones, you know, and then we got 3 good running backs too. And I tell you what, some of the hardest working kids that I've been around, and they're both going to be sophomores. 2 of the guys are up in the upper, but then you got another younger cat and doing some great things. So we got 2 great quarterbacks, a third one that's coming around. And mentally tough, man, and that's one thing about it. You know, if you have a tough quarterback, usually your team's going to be tough-minded. So receivers-wise, we have Joe Reyna coming back. He's probably the fastest kid in South Texas. built like a linebacker, you know. But the thing is that all these kids that I talk about, I can talk about, go on and on and on kids that they've bought in and they understand what happened last year is last year. We're not going to live on it. We're going to learn from it. We're not going to harbor any feelings toward those kids. I'll tell you what, I had nothing but love for those kids. But it's just, I don't know what it was, but it's just one of those things that it was just week after week after week, man. It's just kids going down, and you know, and it puts kind of like a tear in your eye because as a coach, you develop a relationship with these kids, and some of these kids were seniors, and like the Riley Salcella, he breaks the school record in our first game, and in week 2 he tears his ACL, man. You know, but it is what it is. But say I know God has a plan for these kids, and He's totally in control in our program. And there's certain things that I know that kid now, he's actually going to UT, going to do some great things. So, you know, he's definitely a blessed kid. But got a lot of great kids coming up, man. So, like I said, only time will tell.
Sure, definitely. And I feel that, and I think, you know, as fans, we see that, and we just know that you just kind of just, you know, reload in a sense every year, and always putting together that Cardinal football product on the field. And I know, you know, from our conversations is that you care a lot about the character of these young men. You talked about them going on and doing great things, and so you know, football is what kind of unites you, but there's more to it, right?
Yeah, I call it a forge. Just like they're forged together through adversity. You know, and to me, it's like it's almost similar to what the Bible says as far as persevere. Eventually, is going to produce character, and then after character is going to give you some hope. And what I add to the mix is that the substance that ignites hope is faith, and that's basically just simply you just got to believe in yourself. You know, and how do kids learn to believe in themselves? Is to achieving some success. You know, but part of the success that I tell them is failure. You know, or not working. I don't like to really use the word failure because to me, you only fail when you quit. Right. But sometimes you have to go through some adversity, okay, which is part of the perseverance that eventually is going to mold that character and give you that hope for tomorrow or today, even today. And that's one thing that we emphasize at HHS, but at the same time, you know, we have to make plays, and kids got to make the right decisions because I'm telling you, to you parents out there listening to this, you know, it starts at home. I tell them it starts with you guys, and you know, if we can help you at home, parents, without a doubt, email us, you know, for the simple reason of being able to help them, because I know that a lot of these kids love to play the game of football. So if they ain't doing their things right at home, we can leverage them at our campus. So I'm sure you have an idea what I'm talking about, man. But I want them to be right at home. That way they have no resistance coming to school. They're going to be able to have maximum effort in the classroom. And then when they come see us also in football class, they're going to have maximum effort too, so definitely starts at home.
Awesome. Coach, thank you for that. I know that this year the district realignment, right? And really what it did was open up another spot for you all on that pre-district schedule.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that pre-district schedule, realignment, and who you have coming up.
Well, you know, the UIO, they do what they do. Right. You know, I really ain't going to say anything bad about them, but, you know, week 5, you know, we had to go to Midland. It was either Midland or Fort Worth. So some of the possible opponents was like from the Fort Worth. Oh, who's available at Fort Worth? The first Euless Trinity. I was like, I'm going to Midland. You know, we're definitely going to Midland.
They got a pretty good program, Euless Trinity.
No,
right?
absolutely. But you know, don't get me wrong. I always like to compete against the best. But I know that week 3 we have Commerce Judson. But even at that, Sherryland Pioneer, our first game of the year. You know, they have a lot of great athletes up in Pioneer. I know Coach Lee, first-year coach there. You know, he's a tremendous offensive mind. And then we have Laredo United South, Laredo. Yes. They're very physical. They got a new coach there that came over from, I think, the Dallas area. He's more defensive-minded, so definitely going to be some hard-nosed football. And, of course, Commerce Judson week 3. But, of course, week 4 ain't too shabby. We got Weslaco East, you know, and we know those guys are physical. So it's going to be a physical district, but at the same time, you know, it preps you for the big games down the road because, you know, our first game in district's going to be versus San Benito. So, you know, it already got voted in the state of Texas as far as the biggest rivalry in the state of Texas. So it's all good, like I said, but we're going to, you know, prepare a week at a time, day at a time. So absolutely.
Yeah, and I think, you know, kind of a hallmark of what you all have been doing is you've been preparing. You've had Reagan, right, for a few years, and so now Commerce Judson's coming in. Commerce Judson last year, you know, lots of great athletes. Got booted out early the playoffs, but they were a contender, you know, to go away. And so for your program to see, you know, that level of talent early on, that's important for you.
No, absolutely. I've befriended Coach Sean McCullough because there's some relation there because Coach Nola is at Judson now. So, but now we understand. I told him, look, you guys are gonna come down here, and the officials that I chose, none of them speak English. and I told him also that all our pregame music is going to be all corridos,
nice,
you know.
Nice.
So he's like kind of laughing about that. But I'll tell you what, we're going to make it. We're going to definitely welcome them to Harlingen. You know, they have a tremendous kid who is going to already A&M. He committed to A&M, College Station. The kid is one thing that Coach McCullough said. He's a great kid. Right. You know, he didn't want to go to Alabama because he hears the way coaches talk to the kids over there. Right. Not hating on Alabama,
sure.
but you know, the kid's just one of those guys. You know, he doesn't say much, but he put him on the field. So, but at the same time, like I said, we look forward to our district, and absolutely, like, we're going to take it a game at a time.
Awesome, Coach. If you have a goal for the season, you know, a theme that you've been preaching, that you've been kind of putting out there.
It's basically living the moment, seize the moment, because you know I hear it all the time. You know, I'm waiting for the right opportunity. And I don't believe in that. There's three kinds of people in this world: people that make things happen, people that watch things happen, and people say what just happened. You know, I think we all know what kind of people we're looking for. And the whole thing about it is not waiting for the right moment. It's making every moment right, you know. So a lot of it has to do with, again, mental preparation, and understand that you're going to have to develop some grit, okay, over time in order to be a successful team, a successful individual, or just have success, because it doesn't happen overnight. And it's something that you have to go through some adversity to be able to see where you're going to be at. So again, we've done that. We've done our homework as coaching staff. We've implemented a great off season, borderline crazy, you know, thanks to Coach Woodall. But at the same time, you know, these kids have embraced it, not endured it. There's a difference, you know. And again, they're not surviving; they're striving, and that's something that we just can't wait to see come Friday night.
Like you said, you survived Cardinal football.
Yeah, I'm saying you can do anything. Absolutely.
Thanks, Coach, for being here, taking time out of your schedule, and we just appreciate, you know, all that you do for the kids, for the community, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Aaron Signs with KHTN, HSD Sports, and again, thank you to Coach Manny Gomez. Come on and support the Cardinals this year in the different ways. At Friday games, I think there's going to be a couple of games other than Fridays as well this year, and so.
There's one Saturday game, which is versus Brownsville-Hannah, but that will be at Brownsville. Yeah. But
travel, make it out, you know, support, and do everything that we can to see that our kids are supported and encouraged along the process.
Absolutely.
Again, thank you.